Hello and welcome to Tracka Plus. I am Charles Emuzi. Thank you for joining me. Almost yearly, billions of naira are appropriated for constituency projects. Legislators have argued that these projects are necessary to bridge the infrastructure gap in rural communities. They allege that there is often a sharp disconnect between the government at the center and the actual needs of the people, and this makes the legislators a better judge of the needs of the people in rural areas. In the past, legislators have made efforts to legitimize constituency projects as a tool for rural development and even increase the amount of money allocated for it. Listen to this.
This bill seeks to call for an enactment of a law to give legal backing to constituency projects, create constituency development fund, provide processes and procedures for their implementation, and ensure transparency, accountability, and probity, and also ensure that the public is properly educated on how these funds are applied. Mr. Speaker, every year, members of the National Assembly are required to identify projects in their various constituencies and recommend same to the executive during budgeting. We do not have direct control to the implementation of these projects. The award, financing, and supervision of these projects are the exclusive preserve of the appropriate MDAs, and of course not the National Assembly. However, Mr. Speaker, this has generated a lot of controversy in the public and of course within our various constituencies, because the general notion is that these funds are released directly to members of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I have had an experience with one of my constituents who approached me some time ago and requested that I provide part of these funds to him once it is released to me. Mr. Speaker, Nigerians are yet to understand that constituency development funds are not given to members of National Assembly. Since these funds are made available every year, it becomes important, Mr. Speaker, that we give legal backing to these appropriations for their implementations, for even development of our various constituencies. Mr. Speaker, it is important to also stress that majority of Nigerians reside in the rural areas. If this bill is passed, we will have 2.5% of our total annual budget set aside for the purpose of developing the rural areas. This bill has passed second reading in the Senate, Mr. Speaker. I therefore urge honorable members to support this motion that proposes to set aside 2.5% of our total annual budget for the purpose of developing our rural areas. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
That was Honorable Solomon Ezinwa moving a motion for a statutory allocation of 2.5% of the annual budget for constituency projects. This year, the sum of 100 billion naira has been set aside for constituency projects. Here is a breakdown of some of the state allocations. Osun tops the list with 4.6 billion naira, followed by Enugu and Edo with 3.9 billion naira each, then Anambra with 3.8 billion and Kwara with 3.4 billion. Jigawa gets the lowest allocation with 1.5 billion naira. We ask you to be the vanguards of accountability by tracking the implementation of the various projects these monies are to be used for. To get more details of the specific projects these monies will be spent on in each state, tweet at us through the handle on your screen or send us an email and we will be sure to respond. You can also visit www.yourbudget.com to get access to this information. On today's episode of the show, we track a constituency project in Edo State And then we discuss open budgeting as a tool for promoting transparency and accountability in government. But before we proceed, here is what you should know.
Edo, nicknamed the heartbeat of the nation, is located in southern Nigeria. Edo State was formed on August 27, 1991, when Bendel State was split into Edo and Delta states. It is made up of 4 major ethnic groups, namely Edo, Esa, Owa, and Esako. Edo has 18 local government areas and 3 senatorial districts, which are Edo North, Edo South, and Edo Central. In 2016, Edo State received a total sum of 3.99 billion naira for constituency projects.
Information on the website of the Budget Office of the Federation shows that in the 2014 budget of the Ministry of Health, there was a 47.5 million naira allocation for the construction of a primary healthcare center in Uzeba community. Uzeba community is located in Onwa West local government area of Edo State and is represented by Senator Francis Alimikena and Honorable Pali Iriase in the National Assembly. Basic healthcare is a major challenge for the people, as the only healthcare center available is short-staffed and inadequate. So, in 2015 came good news for the people